about Police Week, as we honor the law enforcement officers who made the ultimate sacrifice. Before I do that, I ask that those remarks be a different part of the record from my remarks in response in part to Senator Cruz.
Without objection.
Thank you, Madam President. We know that Putin was shocked by two things. He was shocked by the amazing resistance and the strength and the resiliency of the Ukrainian people and the effectiveness of their fight back. Putin really couldn't believe that happened. The other thing that Putin was shocked by was the skill with which President Biden put together this international coalition of Germany and countries that were not part of this in the past, part of something. Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, Finland, countries that now a couple of them want to be in NATO. And that really is the skill of the leadership of President Biden. And I know, in spite of Senator from Texas's comments, I know that most mainstream Republicans support what President Biden's done, support his work on putting together sanctions, on first providing aid for the Ukrainian people, the humanitarian aid, refugees going to Moldova, going to Poland, going to other parts of Eastern and Central and Southern Europe, and the skill at which he has gotten, and the success with which he's gotten weapons to the Ukrainian people, and the skill with which he put together sanctions. A presiding officer, as a member of the Banking Housing Committee, has been part of that with sanctions, and it's really made a difference in keeping these countries together at the fastest pace we could do it, but keeping them together. So most Republicans support what President Biden's done. But Madam President, I'm not saying that the senator from Texas is part of this, but I have heard Congresswoman Cheney, who is nothing if not a conservative Republican, daughter of a very conservative vice president, active in the Republican Party and Republican leadership, she talks about the Putin wing of the Republican Party. Again, I'm not saying that she includes the senator from Texas in that category. I don't know if she does or she doesn't. I didn't hear her mention names. But I do know that she thinks that a number of Republicans are part of this Putin wing of the Republican Party. And it's despicable, but it's true, and it's disappointing to all of us. And I would add, too, that the senator from Texas maybe missed the news as he was talking about chips, computer chips, about semiconductors, that Intel made a huge announcement that they're coming to Ohio. They're going to invest billions of dollars. They're going to hire 5,000 building tradespeople, 5,000 tradespeople over a 10-year period to build these fabs. Imagine the size of that. I've never seen anything like that. So I'm excited at what we're doing, and that's why it's so important, Senator Wyden, the work that Senator Wyden and I and others are doing on making sure that we pass the USICA, the Innovation and Competitiveness Act. It's so important to our country. It's so important to workers. We're finally putting workers at the center of our economic policy, and that's a thrill. And as President Biden said on the Senate floor, we're finally burying the term Rust Belt. We're burying it in Columbus with Intel. We're burying it in Northwest Ohio with solar manufacturing. We're burying it in Southwest Ohio with new generation of jet fuel and jet engines. We're burying it in Cleveland with what we're doing with NASA. We're burying it in Youngstown with our manufacturing camps and all that we're doing for America Works. So, Madam President, I now ask the
Will the senator yield for question?
Certainly.
Just a moment ago, the senator from Ohio made reference to the alleged existence of a so-called Putin wing of the Republican Party. I'd like to ask the senator from Ohio, is it accurate that the senator from Ohio and 43 of his Democratic colleagues in January of this year voted against sanctioning Nord Stream 2, sanctioning Russia, sanctioning Putin, despite the fact that Ukraine begged the Senate to pass those sanctions, and Putin invaded Ukraine just days after 44 Democrats sided with Russia and Putin?
I take back my time. I've heard no Democrat I've heard nobody talk about the Putin wing of the Democratic Party. No Democrat believes that. I hear just down the hall, 100 yards, Congresswoman Cheney talk about the Putin wing of the Republican Party. I'm not into inter-party fights. I'm only pointing that out. And I want to get to this. We expect to vote it soon after 6, and I want to get back to my remarks. I appreciate the engagement of Senator Cruz on this issue.